spam calls. It's something that all of us are affected by, and it's really become an epidemic, no less than a menace. And well, a recent survey conducted by a survey organization, Local Circles, throws light on this issue and really brings to the fore some startling data. In fact, around 60% of those surveyed by local circles actually say that they receive 3 or more spam calls on an average every day since February last year. Though the percentage has dropped from 66% to 60% in the past 12 months, but still, it remains a headache. And in fact, the local survey report also throws light on the key offenders. And the key offenders range from healthcare services to repair services to, of course, financial services really being the top offender. You have real estate companies, healthcare companies, also mobile services on the list as well. What is even more startling is that there is a significant chunk of those surveyed by local circles who say that they receive spam calls despite being on the DND mode. So that is what is concerning. And remember, the government, in order to tackle the issue of unwanted spam calls, has also come up with a special regulatory authority, special cell as well, that is a national do not call registry. Callers can register on that as well to prevent unwanted marketing calls, but even then, spam calls remain a headache. Well, joining me on the broadcast this afternoon, I'm being joined by Tilak Raj Dua, the Director General of Digital Infra Providers Association. Also with me on the broadcast, Sanjay K. Chadha, consumer lawyer. Thanks very much, gentlemen, for joining us on NDTV on this very important issue that we discuss this afternoon. Going across to you first, Mr. Dua. Spam calls are something that affect all of us. Even me when I'm anchoring, there are so many times that I receive calls from random repair services, bank loans, healthcare services. What is really the solution to it? Because the government has already formed a committee, has already formed a regulatory authority, but despite that, there seems little progress in that direction.
Thank you very much, and warm welcome to each one of you, and also Sanjay, the lawyer. I think it's a very important subject that you have touched today, and it's greatly, it causes incredible annoying and disruptive in people's day-to-day life for many reasons. If you look at the many reasons, causes constant interruption. It does peeps into your privacy. Besides that, you get a call and then you start looking at it. May be an important call and then you waste time on this. Sometimes it could be also the number of times the pesky call or the spam call comes, because annoying, and it becomes more of an anxiety and stress. And typical time that you receive all these calls is sometime in the late afternoon, between late afternoon and start of the evening. That's the time. They had a negative impact on the productivity. Constantly dealing with spam calls. Sometimes you attend. Sometimes it's possible that you might even miss the important call also. There is also, I think, very important is that this issue certainly needs attention. Although the DOT and the TRA have already issued a number of guidelines. One of them is that the Telecom Commercial Communication Customer Preference Regulation, which is they've done a lot of job on this. I think this is in a nutshell. I just thought I can share with you. Now, it's important is that with the government side, I think they've taken a lot of steps.
Yes, and while we discuss the government efforts in this direction, Mr. Chadha, as consumers, what do we do about it? Because that is really what concerns us. I mean, there are so many respondents who have said that they receive such spam calls even on the DND mode. So what do we do about it?
Well, there are 2-3 modes. What I feel, the first thing you have to do is you have to connect with the service provider. You have to then, if within a very quick time, that is 7 days, if service provider doesn't respond to you properly, you have very right to go to try telephone regulatory body, which will give you the resort. Now, I wanted to mention here one judgment also, where it is categorically said that in spite of you being there in DND list, do not disturb list, you've been disturbed, and your authority has no, your service provider has done nothing. Then in that case, you are a consumer. You can very well go to the consumer court. There is a judgment to that effect.
So,
But
Mr. Chadda,
after
the onus here, does the onus lie with the service provider or with, the services that are reaching out to you on such calls? Because there are so many times you inform the consumer executive on call as well that you do not wish to receive these calls, and you do so multiple times, and despite that, you continue to receive these calls. So where does the onus lie in this case? Who should we hold accountable?
If you are having that, you have informed that, kindly take that. There is a specific, they will be giving you a specific number that, look, this is what is your DND, now it is on, and despite that, if it happens, you can very well report it. So okay. I just wanted to say one very important thing, what respected Duaji has just said. Yes, it is violation of Article 21, such a big thing, right to privacy. So it is something which is untenable, not acceptable, and such people, such marketeer should be banned immediately. And there is a strict. If I go to try, they have a huge power to implement and take strict action against them.
Absolutely, and as you said, it's a violation of your right to privacy. But Mr. Dua, also looking at how, because of this spam call menace, you are at an increased risk of being vulnerable to scams as well. While, of course, there are organizations who have evolved really sophisticated mechanisms to fool you online, this, of course, also points to a larger cyber fraud menace as well.
थैंक यू वेरी मच वेदांता. आई थिंक चड्डा जी ने बड़ा अच्छा बोला है कि आर्टिकल 21 विच इज ए वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट आर्टिकल विच डिसरप्ट्स योर प्राइवेसी. अब इसका इसी इंपॉर्टेंट टू से देयर आर नंबर ऑफ लॉज रूल्स अवेलेबल फॉर ट्रैफिक वायलेशंस. एक एग्जांपल ही दे रहा हूँ, और फिर भी वायलेशन होता है, उसके ऊपर फाइन भी होता है कई जगह, मतलब strict violence. Similarly, the lot of steps that have been taken. If you look at the previous statistics, TRA has taken, DOT has taken. If you look at these, some time back, the disconnection of 55 lakh mobile connection were also found, and 20 lakh requests resolved, which were resolved under the Know Your Mobile Connections facility. Yes. 13.42 lakh suspected mobile connection reported by citizens and disconnected.
And those numbers are very important, Mr. Dua, as you said. But just looking at it from a common man perspective, if I'm getting these spam calls on my phone regularly, if I'm getting messages which I do not wish to get, unwanted messages, and I accidentally click on a link, and then of course there's a risk of phishing as well, and all of that. So what do we do? What do I do? How do I protect my phone and myself from getting violated this way?
It is very important. I think what Mr. Chadda, who is a known consumer lawyer, has also brought it out. But the point that I'm saying, only thing is the way, how can you really mitigate that?
Yes.
Because laws are there, the regulations are there. One is that, as he rightly, Mr. Chadda said, as you said, that register on the national do not call registry. In many countries, there are official do not call lists that add number to your. Okay. Then also there's also a feature which use call blocking apps. There are features which are available on the phone, which is you can block the call. Many smartphones have built-in call blocking features that allow you to block, which you can do. Number two, screen the call. Let unknown number go to the voicemail. There is nothing as that. The unknown number, you can put it on the voice call, and only answer call if you find that was an important call. You see, because all the numbers that you have on the phone are not saved in your book. So therefore, put it in the voice call so that if you really want to know who hell called, you can find out, and then you can call him back.
Okay.
then reporting of these spam calls. These are a few things.
Yes,
And secondly,
those
it
measures
should
are
be
extremely
very,
important there, and of course, given the kind of menace that we are seeing as far as cyber fraud is concerned and such spam calls are concerned, we have to protect ourselves and our phones from it. So, thanks very much, gentlemen, for listing those measures and joining us on NDTV on that very important issue. Thank you.